Very good afternoon to all my friends attending this seminar on research avenues in plant science. First of all, I should thank the principal and the coordinator of this webinar, Dr. Chauhan, who has given me this opportunity to participate and share my views in this seminar. If we talk about PhD, very important in research, and nowadays the teachers, the professors have to acquire three P's. One P is PhD, which is very important for getting your API, getting promotions, and henceforth in the UGC, the GR they have drawn that afterward there will no appointment in the university if you are not PhD, even though you are having NET and SET. The another P is publications. Publication is very important. Publish or perish. Publishing of research papers in a reputed journal, in peer-reviewed journal, and journals with good impact factor is very important. And the third P is projects. You must have research projects with funds added by government or by private agencies. The major tips, the major tips, the major tips for research. First one is you require very important attitude. Research attitude is very important. Research, in my opinion, is 90% perception and 1% inspiration. Now, when you are doing research, decide the area in which you are very comfortable in all respects: knowledge, facilities, infrastructure, etc. etc. Topics of research, it should be very precise within your reach. You have to do a lot of reference work, then you will be able to find your proper title of research or topic of research. The first I will talk about research avenues in plant physiology, which is my discipline for years together in my service for about 30 to 35 years. The major avenues in plant physiology research nowadays are you have to work on areas of abiotic stress, which are very important nowadays. We are facing throughout the world different types of abiotic stresses. Water salinity is the urgent need to work on that. The another is biotic stress, where you can you have to concentrate on pathology or diseases caused by fungi, bacteria, viruses, insect. About 40% of crop loss is due to different types of diseases and pests. The another problem nowadays, the younger generation should work on the topics like global warming. High CO2 is the world challenge, and you have to see that which crops will face global warming, high CO2, and they can do their best in greenhouse gases, UV radiations, and high temperature. Throughout the world, high temperature is burning problem, because if temperature increases by 1 degree Celsius, there is about 20 to 40% loss in yield. Hence, you have to work on such abiotic stress problems. The another area of plant physiology research where you should focus is that improvement in growth, yield, then harvest index and of different crops, effect on germination, effect of fertilizers, effect of PGRS on flowering and fruiting of plant is very easiest way to work and very approachable problem and very, very important for the nation itself and agriculture itself, because agriculture is the most important area, at least in country like India, where it is about 60 to 80% of population is engaged in agriculture. So nowadays the most challenging field is agriculture. In these recent areas you have to work by finding your topic. The another very important area in agriculture or plant physiology is to work on post harvest physiology. About 30 to 40% losses are because of post harvest losses. The perishable fruits, the vegetables, they are just deteriorating because of post harvest losses. If you increase the shelf life, waste life of flowers, you can achieve a lot, and you have to definitely work on these areas. The other area in plant physiology is ecophysiology, where all ecological conditions, of course, again, temperature, rainfall, water, the latitude, longitude, humidity, everything is considered. And considering this, you have to work what is the effect of ecological factors on crop productivity, growth, and development. The area within this is the physiology of medicinal plant. In this, you have to work how you can improve the secondary metabolite production. In medicinal plant, the physiological aspect is very less work, and people are not working on growth development and the response of medicinal plants to different stress conditions. And what I was talking about, pathophysiology or disease physiology. I started my career with pathophysiology in 1979 in Botany Department, Shivaji University, Kolhapur, under the guidance of Dr. J.D. Nimbalkar, and I worked on grassy shoot disease of sugar cane. I was just talking about medicine plants. See this. This is Xanthocarpum. One of my students work on improving solacodin content of this plant with the help of PGRS. Mostly the fruiting increased, the solacodin content increase. So there is a lot of scope to work on medicinal and aromatic plants, and the future now henceforth you have to concentrate on this Ayurvedic medicinal plant. India's strength is Ayurveda. What India can export is the only thing that is Ayurveda. Now you see the improvement in active principles. We have done work on different plants, maybe senna or maybe ajwan or this one andrographis. We were successful in improving the yield as well as secondary metabolites in these important medicinal plants. Anyone can do this type of aspect very easily in their own lab with minimum equipment. The bioperfumes, the aromatherapy are the other offshoots of this area. Now, the next field I will talk is about allelopathy. It is very important recent field, and lot of people they are working. About 102 countries are engaged in research in allelopathy. Mostly in allelopathy, interactions are worked out. For example, weed-weed interaction, crop-weed interaction, crop-crop interaction, and plant-insect interaction at the time of plant-microbe interaction. Now, our country is agriculture country, and today the most headache for farmers is the weed, maybe native weeds or invasive weeds. These are taking toll of 40% of crop yield, and nowadays weeding has become problem in agriculture, especially farmers are not getting labor for weeding and the cost of cultivation increases because of weeds. So weeds you have to concentrate in crop, you have to concentrate in weeds in the forest. At the same time, plant insect and plant microbe interaction is duly important. Now, in this allelopathy, lot of research workers, the recent work is concentrated on isolation, characterization, identification of allelochemicals or ecochemicals. About 10 to 12 students in my lab worked on this aspect and they have characterized large number of secondary metabolites which are acting as allelochemicals in these plants and affecting the associate plants. This is the work of Dr. Mrs. Ghayal, who worked on weeds of Pune University campus, their interactions, and allelochemicals present in them. This is one example of weed crop interaction. You will see sugarcane is full of different weeds like Parthenum and Alternanthera. H.S. Patil from Baramati has done a lot of work on weed crop interaction. Now, other aspects what are very important about in allelopathy are these impact of extracts and leachates as well as exudates on germination, growth, flowering, fruiting, and yield. The allelochemicals they cause reduction basically in growth, flowering, fruiting, and yield. So this is another point that negative point of weeds, but positive point of weed is that the huge biomass produced on this planet Earth without any expenditure is going to waste. So can we think bioprospecting of different weeds, maybe exotic or alien and native weeds? This will be also a source of green energy. Nowadays, we are talking about green and clean energy or environment friendly energy, which is possibly we can obtain from the weeds. The secondary metabolites are semiochemicals, or you can use them for different purposes as weedicide, as insecticide, or as pesticides. The third area I wish to talk is on environment. In environment nowadays, phytoremediation or bioremediation is a very recent topic and catching the attraction of researchers. One of my student, Swati Avalkar, is very well worked on phytoremediation of heavy metals, for example, chromium, which are there in Mula River. She used the system Chlamydomonas for bioremediation or phytoremediation. This is one of the excellent work in my lab done by Swati Yavalkar. She has done all biotechnological work on that. Now the next area where we have worked with a lot of Irani students, and that is the area of ecotourism. This is what upcoming area. Now people are now attracted towards tourism, but in that ecotourism is most important and it is also accepted by all the people throughout the world. It will help to protect the nature, it will help to protect the local people, and at the same time it will improve the health and give the what you say happiness with the tourism. The next field which is attracting nowadays for researcher is the mutation breeding. I worked about 3 4 crops, and we found a lot of mutants, and we worked out their physiology, and we got a lot of mutants. Especially onion was the very important crop on which my student Sushma Kirtane worked, and she found 8 to 10 mutants, especially which are having high storage quality, because in onion rotting during storage is very important, and that problem we have solved with mutation breeding onion. Another student, Dr. Laure, who is now principal at Sonay College, his work was on mutation breeding in strawberry. He brought out very good varieties, mutant varieties of strawberry, and that encourage to other students to work on mutation breeding. For example, another my student who is at Mansar College, now head department of botany, Dr. Sadashiv Bholbhat, he has selected very poor farmer's crop, growing in drought area, and that is what do you call is त्याला आपण मराठीमध्ये हे हुलगा म्हणतो बघा. हुलग्यावरती त्यांनी अतिशय चांगलं संशोधन केलं, विच इज अ निग्लेक्टेड क्रॉप, but it is very very rich in protein, and he has brought mutants which are early for harvesting, high pod mutant, high grain mutant. This was a microtoma, I think, this Hulga. Now we'll see the effect of plant leachate on leaf area, yield, and other anatomical aspects. I was talking about prospecting weeds, and very important prospect I forgot to tell that weeds are very very important, having antimicrobial and antifungal compounds. You can exploit that, which is very good avenue to go ahead in allelopathy. You can see this separation of various allelochemicals with the help of HPTLC. A lot of innovative compounds you can get through allelopathy through this HPTLC technique. You can see their impact. We have isolated many compounds from pteridophytes, the fern, pteridium, and other ferns. Dr. Bhalera worked on that, and he for the first time got IA-like compound in the pteridium, on which then one PhD student in chemistry isolated this compound to purified form. And the another thing I was just talking in the area of sustainable growth. Now that is the what hot cake nowadays, sustainable growth. Everybody is talking about sustainable growth, and one of the now catching area is organic farming. Sometimes people call it as zero budget farming. Government is just subsidizing the zero budget farming. Dr. Bore, who is working on that, who has worked on that, this is what the crops he worked on, organic farming. If you want to save from dreadful diseases like cancer and other thing, now people have to go for food which is having zero residue. All over world, the zero residue food is preferred, and organic farming is the way to provide zero residue food to the world. These are what bioactive compounds I was talking about, the fern Tectaria from Mahabaleshwar. This is what some points showing purpose of ecotourism. This is what I was talking previously. These are the mutants which we got in onion. See a fantastic type of mutants. We use both physical mutagens and chemical mutagens. Basically, the sodium azide was the chemical mutagen, while Gamma radiation was the physical mutation. I was having project about 15 lakh on mutation breeding in onion sponsored by BRC in collaboration with BRC. What was our success in this onion? We got the mutant of high TSS, total soluble solids, and high TSS mutant is highly important for making onion powder from the onion flakes. Jain irrigation, they were asking for giving this high TSS mutant, but as it was collaboration with BRC, we were not able to give them. This is what just flowering in onion for getting seed formation. This is what about slide talking about phytoremediation or bioremediation, and which is a very accessible area, easy area for anyone to work. And pollution is a great problem in river and in agriculture, in other areas also. So these were my views, friends. Thank you for patient hearing. Thank you very much for calling me here for this webinar. This is my first time to talk in webinar.